Welcome to Kung Fu Epic number 2. As I said in the prep show, I'm going to apologize to all the women who are following me right now. This will not be a woman friendly video. I do not want any of you women to take this personally. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to apologize to you for how I say it, but I'm not going to apologize to you for what I said. Now, I'm going to feed y'all some information about a situation that I have found myself in for the last few months, and which is why I'm partially broke and have no fucking money. This will reflect on a few women that you may even fucking know. If this does not apply to you, don't take this shit personally. But I'm going to talk really bad about the female gender right now. And not so much in a bad way that it will keep me from getting a girlfriend, but in a bad way that maybe a few women will wake up and say, you know, those guys that do cosplay and run around and do kung fu that have no violent tendencies towards women, maybe we should date them instead of the asshole butt knocking jerks that we generally date. So if that doesn't apply to you, or if it does apply to you and you continue to want to date butt knockingly evil jerks, then that's a you problem. And to you, I don't apologize. But to everyone else who it doesn't apply to, I will say this one more time before I begin. I apologize for how I say it. I'm not going to apologize for what I said. Because the first thing about truth and accountability is one, no one really likes the truth. They beg for it until you give it to them. And two, most people, specifically women who date specific guys that I'm about to mention, don't want to take accountability for that shit. So now that I got the apology out of the way, I hope that you accept it. And now brace yourself because this is probably going to be 45 minutes to an hour. All right? Give or take a pause or two to stop my alarm clock from going off. So let's get this going. So, in case you guys don't know, I do not have a girlfriend. I am single. I do not have children. And I am 50 years old. I never got the chance to live my life because of the situations that I am about to explain. I have a few siblings who have done the exact same shit. I have a few cousins who have done the exact same shit that I'm about to talk about. Your feelings are going to get hurt. But it's all fucking true. And you're going to have to fucking accept the fact that you do this exact same fucking shit. Now, again, if you got through that first 5 seconds of the apology and it doesn't apply to you, let it ride. Say nothing. But again, a lot of people don't like the truth and they don't like accountability, which is the title, Truth and Accountability. I had my life planned out, all right? I wasn't supposed to be a 50-year-old bum, homeless, vet. None of this shit was supposed to be this way. I had my life literally planned out since I was fucking 12 years old. Knew what I wanted to be, knew what I wanted to do. I failed the 4th grade, so I had to alter my plans because I was stupid in science. So I decided if I become a cop, it's the closest thing to being a superhero that anybody can ever get to. And this is before I knew about acting, except for the fact that I did play Tiny Tim as a kid in like the 3rd or 4th grade. I don't remember. A fucking long time ago. But I didn't have the acting thought, saying, I don't want to be an actor. I want to be a cop. Because a cop is the closest thing to being Spider-Man that I could ever be. Cosplay didn't exist back then also. So shout out to cosplayers. Now, we're about to get nasty up in here. I'm about to drop you 99.9. I'm going to sugarcoat this shit as much as possible. But I'm going to keep this shit as real as possible. Alright? So, leaving my sibling situation out, leaving my cousin situation out, and dealing with the situation that I currently found myself in. It's a complicated situation, so we're just going to give you the ins and outs. I once had a situationship, and it didn't work out. Alright? This situationship decided that somehow or another, I am currently responsible for her situation. Our situationship was over way before COVID. So whatever happened between now and COVID is how she got into the situation that she is in. So she ran off and had a baby, 2 of them, by somebody else. She has used those children against me, and I have given up my cosplay money, my reconnecting journey money because I was going to go try to see my great grandmother's grave on Chickahominy land. I was making arrangements. I was talking to people at the church, all this other stuff, and all that money went to her. Cut through it like a hot knife through butter. Since fucking either November of 2023 or December of 2023, then January, February, March, and I just gave her money last week. Right? Literally, I've given this girl money on top of money on top of money because she's found a way to use her children as a bait and hook to make me feel bad because I'm practically homeless still, but I know how it feels to be homeless. I know how it feels to be hungry. I know how it feels to not have a dime in your fucking pocket and be stranded somewhere with none of that shit because I've been through that shit. But most of the time, I didn't put myself in that situation. Someone else's bad decisions put me in that situation. Remember, I did mention leaving siblings and shit out. Alright? But that's how I got in a situation where I didn't have a roof over my head for a couple of weeks. And then I had to move in with my uncle because I was going to be homeless for damn near forever. And that was before I joined the army and I went through a whole lot of other shit. Alright? Still technically homeless because I don't own the room that I'm staying in. I don't own this house. I contribute. I pay for the trash for the year. I do dishes. I walk dogs that aren't mine. I do what I need to do to survive. Now, again, leaving siblings and cousins out. In my situationship, I don't know what the hell's going on with her family, but they had some kind of falling out, some kind of disagreement, and she don't want to get help from her family. All right. So instead, she wants to take every dime from me. And again, I say it's a complicated relationship because her family is my family. They're just not biologically connected to me. But my father used to date her grandmother. All right. So we're gonna leave it right there. And then we had a situationship. Jumping past the situationship, jumping past COVID, I don't know what happened because I also had a falling out with that side of my family. I still love them. I still acknowledge them, but whatever's going on with them is not my business when it comes to her and them. Now, when it comes to me and them, that's a whole different ballgame. And I haven't bothered to contact them to ask them what was happening. I had a lot going on. I was trying to graduate. Got my 2 degrees over there. Well, one's a certificate and one's a degree. The degree is in police science. The certificate is in criminal justice. And I haven't honestly started looking for a job in that field, but I do have the degree. I'd much rather be in front of a camera where it makes me happy versus trying to find a job that I'm going to be sad and miserable at for the rest of my life. So that's on me. I can't blame anybody for me not finding a job in police science and criminal justice but me. Alright? But I also have special needs because of my hip. I can't sit down. So they're going to have to accommodate me by giving me a job where I'm in the field, where I can drive or walk or talk to whatever the hell it is that the job requires. Now, outside of that, that shit's on me. But this shit is not on me. One, you go off and you get pregnant by somebody else. Not once, but twice. When you already had 3 children and you were already struggling. This is the shit that I'm about to drop that's going to piss all the women off. You cannot get mad for who you procreate with if you consented to this procreation. Alright? If that piece of shit that you procreated with jumps up and leaves you the second that baby is born, that's still more on you than him. And I know I don't care. I don't want the women to say anything about it. I will still blame him, but I have to put more of the blame on the woman because the woman has the right to choose to not have this bastard's baby unless, and I repeat, unless you are sexually assaulted. That's a whole different ball of wax. I will never blame a woman for being sexually assaulted. Never, ever, ever, ever. It doesn't matter if she was wearing next to nothing. You do not have the right to rape any woman on the planet because, oh, she's wearing thongs and pasties. That's her body. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. You, as a man, do not have to act on your fucking erection because you got turned on by seeing a chick jumping around and dancing in a thong and pasties. I've seen some shit. Trust me. I have I went to a party at the Highline Pavilion one time. And I know I'm getting back on track, but this is important because this is really relative. There was these two beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Asian college students. First, they were wearing translucent, clear as day white underwear. Both of those girls shaved. You can use your imagination from that. I'm at this stage. I don't know if they just was giving me a show or if they just didn't acknowledge my ugly ass was right there. But let's just say I didn't miss anything. They weren't pierced, but they were very well shaven. All right? One of them had a landing strip, the other one was bald as a baby's ass when you first come into this world. Both of these Asian girls probably had B cup breast, maybe A cup breast, A plus. They weren't very big, they weren't very small, but they were fucking perfect for me. I'm doing my best not to drool, but what's happening downstairs in my pants was standing in attention. I did not jump on that stage and touch these young ladies. I was the designated driver, so I was the dad, so I could get my bro home from the Highline Pavilion. This is a long time ago. This was the night before I got the job as an actor in the movie that got canceled, when I had to learn how to do the 619, only to find out that the movie was going to be canceled within a couple of months when I bumped into the dude after doing all the training for like almost about a month or so. So that is how I told the interview. I didn't tell about the part about my willie getting wood and shit, but I told everything else. And I mean, they danced for like 15, 20 minutes. I never fucking moved. At all. And my eyes were zoomed in on their boobs, their private parts, and those beautiful smiles. Now, not one time did I get in my head, I'm gonna jump up on stage and assault these chicks. No, you don't have the right to do that. If a woman wants to wear translucent panties and you are blessed to see the greatest gift that God has ever given men called vagina, then take your blessing, but don't take her vagina. Take your blessing, store it in your memory banks, and fucking be happy, because you may never get that fucking chance again. And I have never gotten that chance again, because not too long after that, the High Line got shut down due to gun violence. But anyway, moving on. Let's get back on track, because this is exactly why I told you that story. If you are a woman and you are sexually assaulted and you are pregnant, and now with the way the world is working and you are forced to be a birther, I can never blame a woman for that. Never. That's one of us dumbass men's fault. And you're not even a man, you're a piece of filth. Anyway, moving on. The young person with whom I'm speaking, let's just put it this way. She had 3 children and she was struggling. Had a tiny bit of an addiction problem. We thought we fixed it. As far as I knew it was fixed, I don't know how she got into the situation she's in now. I do know how she got in the situation with the 2 babies. But I don't know why she didn't take this asshole to the motherfucking bank. Like, no, motherfucker, these babies are yours. But she's calling me. She's used her children against me twice. With the accidental phone call, like the Facebook bubble thing, the accidentally call, talking to the children, saying exactly what needs to be said, which gives the children the Commander Shepard role of saying exactly what needs to be said so that these little strings can be pulled. Which then she hung up. Then I had to fucking call back because I'm stupid and my heart is sometimes bigger than my brain. And so I'd call back and I'd give her money. That's on me because I'm stupid. That's accountability. Is it my fault? Yes, it is. All my fault. All of it. Because from either November or either December of 2023 to January, February, March, and now it's April, I have given this girl every dime I've made before I've made it and been behind on my fucking bills because of her lack of fucking responsibility. So now we're going to get to the point of this. This is the part where I piss off a fuck ton of you women. A fuck ton of you. I am not going to apologize for what I'm saying. I will apologize to you for how the fuck I say it. So I'm sorry. Y'all pick these motherfuckers. Y'all do. You know that they're a piece of fucking shit from the moment they open their mouth, but you're so fucking gutty on the excitement. Oh, he may have a big dick and a good lick game. But the fact that he's a dick bag full of douche tips that's going to get you pregnant, leave you high and dry, oh, we don't consider that shit a problem. Because we're gonna get some idiot like Echo Fang Grey Wolf to fucking cover our bills and help raise our kids. But we made these motherfuckers with these dismal pieces of dick shit instead of thinking, you know, you know, hold on, because I don't want women to take this the wrong way. I'm all about women empowerment. These motherfuckers right here keep you from being stuck with somebody who's gonna sit here, fuck your brains out, get you pregnant, walk away, tell all your friends that your fucking coochie stinks, and then leave you high and dry and tell everybody on the planet that they fucked you and that you were easy and that they will continue to fuck you. And some of you women, y'all do take these motherfuckers right back. Y'all take these motherfuckers right the fuck back. And I'm not gonna apologize for what I said. It's the goddamn truth. Again, got siblings, got cousins. The men have told them we don't want nothing to fucking do with you. Still get pregnant by this motherfucker. And still expect someone else to take care of that motherfucker that you got pregnant by his motherfucking baby. Now, I don't give a fuck who I just pissed off with that. I don't. Because it's the goddamn truth. Now, the bookworm girls, y'all don't pick stupid boys most of the time. But every now and again, sometimes if that hot macho guy gives a bookworm girl the time of day when nobody else would, sometimes they fall for that shit too. It don't take much for a good girl to go bad either. But most of the time, it's girls who know better. You literally know better. You come from a family that has gone through this shit time and time and time again, and it doesn't matter what your fucking race is. Doesn't matter how tall you are. Doesn't matter what the fuck you identify as colorly. Like Asian girls, white girls, black girls, Mexican girls, all women of all races and all ethnic and cultural backgrounds do this shit. And then they get mad when someone like me will treat them nicely, but I can't date you. It's like, well, why you can't date me? You got 5 kids. No, no, I'm not doing that shit. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm not doing that shit. Literally have been there and done that more than one time in my life. Now the girls I've been with have never asked me to give their kids shit, which is okay. But at the same fucking time, you can't get mad at a gentleman who doesn't want to be in an already made family. You can't. And you can't call your kid a mistake because the kid is not the mistake. You made the mistake with who you had the kid with, especially if you had the kid with a fucking dismal piece of douchebag, dog-faced dick shit. Douchebag full of dick tips dumpster fire that you chose to have him with. Kid could be innocent, and they generally are. But that asshole that you chose to have that baby with, no, that's on you. That is completely on you, especially if that motherfucker leaves you high and dry with no goodbye, no tissue, no paper to wipe your ass with. Don't want to help you pay rent to keep your kids with a roof over their head and just fucking bails. No, that shit's on you. That shit is on you. Now, for example, in my family with situations of this, we watched a parent go through this exact same shit, and siblings did the exact same shit. All right, I'm sorry, I'm leaving names and shit out, but at the same time, I've watched this shit from right on the front fucking lines. I have warned girls time and time again, don't do this shit, don't do this shit. Fuck you, nigga, I do what I want. And yes, I did say the N word, and that's exactly what they say to me. I do what I want. I do what I want. I have lost my youth and my time taking care of somebody else's children. Time and time again. And that was before the situationship. So I have every right to be mad. I have every right to call you women out on that shit. Because most of y'all won't even acknowledge that you do it. And if you're one of those women who probably should have been on the Maury Povich show after the first 5 men, you have to bring 5 and 6 more men, this is for you too. I literally just had 2 condoms in my hand. Now let me make sure I state this clearly. If you are a woman I got no problem with you fucking whoever the fuck you want to fuck. Fuck them until your fucking ovaries explode. But you do not need to get pregnant by these motherfuckers. Either way, you're gonna lose because if you're fucking a lot of dudes, they're gonna start calling you a whore anyway. But you don't have to let everybody know who the hell you're fucking, because that opens the door for you to be on a lose-lose. You might not like what I just said, but that doesn't change the fact that it's the fucking truth. If you like fucking, you like fucking. Ain't nothing wrong with liking to be fucked. Especially, hey, women enjoy sex just as much as men, if not more. But you shouldn't be judged for it, alright? But at that same time, no matter how much you like fucking, you don't have to get pregnant by every man with a big dick and a good lick game. You don't have to do that. You like fucking that bad, there's 3 ways you can deal with this shit. You can fuck like normal people. You can become a porn star or an OnlyFans person. Or you can just be a fucking mother who likes a lot of dick and a lot of children to come with it. Because the P in penis means problems. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. The P in penis does mean problems. It doesn't just mean pregnancy. It's the same thing can be said as the P in pussy. It means problems. It don't have to mean problems. Both P's could mean pleasure. But most motherfuckers have to be responsible to know just because you are good in bed does not mean you are going to be a good father to anybody. I can't say the same thing about a mom because I don't have a vagina. I am not a trans person or any of that shit. I like getting booty. I like the lick and I like the stick. But I ain't trying to have no damn children. And if you want children, I'm not that guy. Now, 20 years ago, I would have been that guy because I had time to fix my life until I didn't. The military was my saving grace, for the most part, because I wasn't trying to come home. And then I got fucking injured, and then we learned that I can't shoot worth shit. Got an honorable discharge. I am legally a vet, never got deployed. Never lied about that, never going to. Don't do that stolen valor shit. My dog tags are over there, DD-214 is over there. Now, to all you women, stop picking these dudes. Raise your sons and daughters to, 1, raise your sons to not be these dudes. 2, raise your daughters to have self-respect and understand this between having sex for pleasure and procreation. Do the same for your sons. Gentlemen, same thing. You have a son or daughter, you tell them, look, I can't stop you from having sex, but I can prepare you for what comes with having sex. You need to make sure that asshole, and I'm talking about men who are raising girls, if you're going to have sex with this asshole, you put that condom on that motherfucker. Don't listen to nothing that motherfucker say. Birth control and condoms are not 1,000% safe for keeping you from getting pregnant, but they're the best thing we've got until we don't, or until we find some kind of technology better that people are willing to put inside their bodies. We're gonna cut this off so that you don't get pregnant. No, I'm gonna cut this off without removing body parts, but putting in microchips. No, I don't want to get her pregnant. Program no pregnancy tonight. Until we can do that, and until we can cure every STD on the planet, condoms are your best bet. Birth control is your second best bet. The morning after pill is your backup plan. So until we find something better than them 3 options, explain to your children the truth. There's nothing wrong with abstinence. No, don't have sex. But if you're going to have sex, you need to understand the difference between having sex for pleasure, having sex for procreation, and then just straight fucking. Yeah, I said it, straight fucking. You're going to have to explain that shit to your children. And don't be fucking sugarcoating that shit. Be honest about that shit. This is a penis. This is a vagina. This is a dick. This is a pussy. Tell them exactly what the fuck that shit is. Tell them how that shit works. Because school can only teach you how to put on a condom on a banana. I don't know what they do in the girls' sex ed, which is also another problem. They should have sex ed for boys and girls. Keep it separate. But have a man go teach the women as well as have the first couple of weeks. Because it should be a whole semester of this shit. So the first 6 months, you have a woman teach all the little girls about their body. All the ins and outs, because a woman's been through the shit. Not a non-biological woman, because I don't want somebody coming at me from the alphabet community. Well, what about us? No, this does not apply to you. No offense, I support the alphabet community, but this is a little bit more important. It's above your feelings right now. You have a biological woman, just like all those biological girls sitting in that room. And for the first 6 months, you teach them about periods, cysts, birth control, breast cancer, and all the things that women health needs to be addressed by a woman. You take that same woman and you take her to the class next door for the next 6 months to teach the boys, so that the boys will understand how a woman's body is supposed to work for the woman, so that they don't fucking abuse the woman. You take that man that taught the boys about, well, you're gonna get an erection, the blood's gonna shoot to the head of your dick, and masturbation works like this, etc., etc. Teach both children, men and boys and girls, about masturbation, because you want to make sure everybody's learning how their body works and learning about masturbation and shit. And then you take that man and he goes over there and he talks to those girls, and he teaches those girls about how boys can get them pregnant with pre-com and masturbation and shit happens and all the enigmas of sex from boy, and you teach the boys all the enigmas about sex and what can happen to a girl. This way these guys are overly prepared, and the motherfuckers gonna have condoms in their fucking pocket. The girls are gonna have condoms, Plan B, and everything under the motherfucking sun. Cause I'm more worried about the girls than I'm about the guys. Because you also have to understand, guys are the ones who generally go around raping women. Women don't go around raping men. That's like a 1 in 1,000 cases. And yes, there are cases where women have raped men, but it's like 1 in 1,000. It's so fucking rare. You barely can get 10 cases of that shit, unless it's like some shit from Law and Order. It does happen, but it is just that fucking rare that it's not even. No man's really gonna report a woman raping him. Not really. Unless she gives him like an STD or a disease, or he's like a married man, he's exceptionally faithful, he really loves his wife. Most men aren't going to say they were sexually assaulted by a woman unless she anally penetrates him with something. So other than that, like if she rapes him with a dildo or some shit, he'll probably report that. However, the stigma behind that, now pay attention in class now. However, the stigma behind that is that his male pride is going to make him too ashamed to go forward and report that shit. So he's probably not going to report that shit. Where women, on the other hand, the world's a little bit more sensitive to a woman being sexually assaulted versus a man being sexually assaulted. So again, I apologize for how I said it. I do not apologize for what the fuck I said. We're not done, but we're getting there. I just wanted to point a few things out before we continue. You know, this is a fact in life that women don't really rape men, but there are every now and again, and it's a very low number of women who sexually assault men. Alright? Now, there have been some issues in female prisons. You can go read about that. I can't tell you the case, but it does happen. But the man couldn't keep an erection, so they stuck the pencil into his private parts. And about 4 or 5 female prisoners raped the guard. It does happen. I don't know the case, but we did have to deal with that. Any fucking how. Just so that you know, again, it is a highly improbable thing that women are going around raping men versus men going around raping women. Now, getting back on track, I need to make sure that I'm clear. So let me apologize first. I'm going to apologize to you for how I'm going to say this, but I'm not going to apologize to you for what the fuck I'm going to say. Okay? Now we got that out the way. Look, it's really quite simple. All right? Women get to pick and choose the man. All right? Y'all get to pick and choose because y'all have the one thing that men will never have. Women can get a dick any day of the week. Women also have toys, so they don't need a dick. Yeah, women can get a woman any day of the week. Men, we don't have that option. I'm ugly, so I need to make a whole lot of money just to get women to Tom Jones me. For those who aren't familiar with Tom Jones, to get women to throw their panties at me, these videos need to go viral so that women will think that I'm a beautiful man and that they would throw their underwear and everything under the sun at me. Hopefully just their underwear. Nothing nasty. But women, on the other hand, and even the women who are not very, very beautiful, they don't have to work hard to get a man. They don't. Now, this is where this comes important, and this is one of those parts that's probably going to piss you women off. Make better choices. Make better choices. Choose those guys that do cosplay, because we're the ugly guys who women don't give a second chance to, or a first chance to, or a first look. Because we will be the loyal ones who more than likely will never fucking cheat on you and never fucking leave you. Y'all don't choose us. Y'all choose those guys that got the big chest, fucking muscles out of this fucking world, looking chiseled like Cyclops from the X-Men, like Gambit, like Archangel. Okay, Archangel has money also, so he gets a double bonus. But you know, those are the guys y'all choose. Y'all choose those guys. This got money and good looks, or y'all choose those guys who got money and are ugly. In the category in which I fall, which is neither, no, but I'm happy with what I look because I burnt my face off once. I am okay. The problem is getting a woman's attention, getting women to like me, and getting the woman that I like to like me. Women who don't like you are never going to pick you. Women who aren't interested in you are never going to pick you. And this is where you have to raise your sons to say, okay, I can handle no and I can keep moving, because I've had to teach myself how to do that. I hate being rejected. I hate being rejected. However, I want to thank every woman who's ever rejected me, and I'm going to tell you why. It's made me a better actor. It's made me a better receptacle for when I go to apply for an acting job and the director or the casting director says, no, we don't want you. No. I get a little bit mad at the moment because that's natural reaction. I'm a little bit mad at the moment. What's wrong with me? Why am I not being chosen? What's the difference? And then, you know, when I learned about the list, it's like, okay, so as the guy from the Omni told me, I'm too short. They racially can't figure out what the fuck I am. And it doesn't matter if I can act or not, because these guys can teach you how to act. They can train you for the camera. They can train you for when that light comes on and they say action and recite your lines. They can train you for all that shit. It's not that difficult. The difficult part about being an actor is getting your fucking foot in the door, getting discovered, and people accepting you, liking your films, because if they don't like your films, you're not going to work as much as you want and you're not going to get paid. And you really want to get work. More than you want to get paid, you want to work. Because if you're working, you're getting paid. Now, how much you're getting paid, I can't say. But you're getting a paycheck. If you're on a soap opera, you're pretty much set. Sign your contract. Even if they don't give you a fucking raise, sign your contract. Because as long as that soap opera's on, you're paid. Don't be stupid. Don't get greedy. If you're on a nighttime soap opera, if you're on a daytime soap opera, if you're on any kind of show at all, and they offer you a 3 to 5 year contract, sign that bitch. Make sure you dot your I's and cross all your T's, and make sure they give you everything you're asking for. Take that shit, because you may not get another chance. All right? And I say this because I signed with Page Publishing for my first book, because I didn't think anybody else would give it to me. And plus, when I went to the Christian people, it was like, yeah, if it's anything not like church based, they kind of don't want that shit. So there's that. But that's just a personal between me and them. And it wasn't a bad experience. It just did, you know, Paige liked my shit, and it didn't have a lot of biblical shit. It had kind of the opposite. It had some mention of Nephilims and other things, but you know, you go with the people that will at least give you the shot. A lot of people won't give you a shot, and it's nothing personal. It's just that ships ain't aligning, or the stars ain't aligning up, so you just kind of shit out of luck. Now, you can recover, but you know, how long will it take for you to recover? It's like, let's say tomorrow, and this is hypothetical, it's not going to happen. I'm not that blessed. But let's say tomorrow, Disney says, this is what's going to happen. Echo Finn Grey Wolf. We are going to make you one of two characters, and you get to choose. You can either be American Eagle, or you can be Jesse Blackcrow. I'm going to be honest, because I'm superstitious, I don't want to be Jesse Blackcrow. I would much rather be American Eagle or Captain Kickapoo. But I will be also honest. I know I can play Jesse Blackcrow, but I also know I can play American Eagle. Alright? I just got to be taught how to ride a motorcycle. But with Jesse Blackcrow, I just want all the safety precautions because he's going to spend a lot of his time in a wheelchair. And if you've seen the TV series Legion, this is why I know I can play Jesse Blackcrow. Because most of Jesse Blackcrow, he doesn't know he's really doing the shit. He's thinking that he's sleeping because he's paralyzed from the waist down because he fell off a skyscraper. He doesn't know that he's actually possessed by Black Crow and he's going around saving people. He doesn't know it's really him. He just thinks he's dreaming. He thinks he's losing his fucking mind. And so he has therapy. He's like, "Look, doc, I don't know what the hell's happening. I feel like when I go to sleep that I'm not really sleeping and I'm having these elaborate dreams." And I think at some point he will check the newspaper because if we're gonna write the story and I want creative control, we're gonna write the story. I think at some point he would wisely check the newspaper and say, "Yeah, I dreamed that I was there," and because he's covered up. He's in a mask, so no one knows it's him. He doesn't know it's him because he's dreaming this shit in his head. He's dreaming it. In reality, the possession of his body by Black Crow is going around saving everybody in the facility, and then he wakes up with no recollection other than it appears to be a dream. That's a dream fucking job for me, and I could do it. I'm just superstitious about wheelchairs because of Christopher Reeve. Other than that, I'd be more than willing to sign on to be Jesse Blackcrow. But if they give me the offer of American Eagle, Jesse Blackcrow, or Captain Kickapoo, Captain Kickapoo and Jesse Blackcrow are more like my last two. American Eagle would be number one. The only difference is with all three of these guys, they're all over 6 feet tall. They're also all full-blooded natives, where I'm just a mixed native and barely passing. So I could definitely play all three, but I know I could do Jesse Blackcrow the best because it would test my range. And as long as I have creative control and you know have the reality, it could be a 5-part miniseries. If y'all want to like clip that little area to right here and pitch that to Disney, I am down with you doing that. But leave all the cussing and stuff off. Anyway, moving on. Women get to pick the man. Y'all do. Y'all get to pick the man. You get to pick having his baby. You get to pick the names for the baby. Y'all get to pick getting married to these jackasses and all that shit. Men, especially ugly men like me, we have to pray that you even look at us. Did you consider us? Did you want to be with us? And small secret, some of us ugly guys, did y'all refuse to pick? Did you won't give a second look to? We have a pretty good lick game and a pretty good D game too. Why? Because we dream about being with y'all all the time. And sometimes dreams lead to adult gratification. But outside of that, y'all pick these pieces of shit. Y'all literally pick these pieces of shit. Y'all procreate with these pieces of shit, and then 7, 8 years down the road, when that dude that's treated you like dog shit, abused your body, busted up your face, and then you want to come for us ugly guys who we had to make money. Why did we have to make money? Because we couldn't get girls. We couldn't get girls to give us a second look. So if my career takes off, I know I'm going to have money because I don't have a girlfriend. I'm not gonna waste money. I'm not gonna buy shit that I don't fucking need. I'm not gonna like give money to everybody. I'm not gonna be like in the situation that I've been in for the last 5 months and some change, you know, of giving this person money when she should have took the bastard that got her pregnant twice, because she has 5 children now. The guy that got her pregnant the last 2 children should be locked up, or she should be in a fucking condo. Period. With health care and with child care. It's not my fucking job. I didn't get you pregnant. It's not my fucking job. You need to stop asking me for money that I don't have before I can pay my bills. I done gave this girl all this fucking money. All of it. Every motherfucking dime. Before I can pay my bills, I done took care of her. My bills are late because I've taken care of her. Because she had a baby with a douchebag full of dick tip dumpster fire. And instead of taking this bastard to court and fixing herself up, she done took me to the ringer. She sent me a text today asking for money. She sent me a text yesterday asking for money. And something about being homeless. I'm not going to show you the text. But I literally told her, you've emptied my account. I have $0 in my account until the first of fucking damn whatever month is after this month. I have nothing. You understand me? Nothing. Whatever I had from the military, those bills are covered first. The dentist bill is covered. The car insurance, which is now $100 and some change, because I just got a damn fucking thing from Allstate. Cell phone is covered. 99 is covered. That's 5 bills and some change, because I still have to put gas in the car. I've given this girl money so that I can't go anywhere on weekends but to a gas station, and I barely have money in my pocket. But you women, y'all pick these motherfuckers. And then you get mad because they've used you, they've abused you. You finally find someone who can love you 7 or 8 kids later. You can't give the good guy who you should have been with in the first place a kid, because you're all chowed out. And I mean that respectfully. You're all chowed out. And that guy probably only wanted a kid from you. But now he has to deal with all the other kids that you have, and you can't give him a kid. The guy you were with before, and abused you mentally and physically, then drained your body of all the eggs so you can't have a baby. And I know I'm pissing you ladies off. And again, I apologize for how I say it. I'm not apologizing for what the fuck I said, because it's fucking true. And if this does not apply to you, then you don't need to be getting mad. But the fact of the matter is, you look at a guy like me, who has a collection of Marvel Legends, or a collection of G.I. Joes, or Pikachu, and y'all will look right past me. Fuck that nerd. Fuck that guy. He does kung fu. We're not gonna deal with him. I'm gonna deal with this guy who calls me a bitch, a whore, and a slut. He fucks me right. He licks me right. He does everything right. But he treats me less than human. And I'm gonna stick with this motherfucker. And I'm gonna have all of his fucking babies. And I'm gonna trap him. And the only person that you trap is yourself. Because you're trapped with this fucker for 18 years. And if that motherfucker lends you one motherfucking dime for the child that you gave him, it'd be a fucking miracle. I want y'all to think about that shit. Before you get mad, before you drop anything in the comments, especially if you're a female, think about that shit. How many women do you know? How many girls have you sat beside and told you, I'm gonna get pregnant so I can keep this man forever? How many of y'all know a girl just like that? They said, I'm gonna get pregnant. I'm gonna get pregnant on purpose. I'm gonna keep this motherfucker. I know 1 in 21 of you women, if you're here watching this, because there's 390 of you, which probably will drop by the end of the night. I know some of you are females. I know some of you have watched a girl get pregnant and get treated like complete dog shit for 9 months. The baby gets here, the guy's good for about a year. Doing the daddy thing, being nice, showing off with his friends, pretending like he gives a fuck, and within 2 years, and the baby's out of diapers, the baby's talking, dude is fucking out. Now sometimes you get a good dude, and they're there to the end of fucking time. Even if the relationship goes out, the motherfucker still does the daddy thing, gets the child every weekend, pays for diapers, pays for everything. Does what a man's supposed to do. But at that same time, when he goes home, I wish I never met this bitch. I love my kid, but I wish I never met this bitch. Y'all all know someone who does that. Whether you want to admit it or not, you do. And I know of quite a few people who have done that, been there, done that, and still do that shit to this day. You women have to teach your daughters to make better choices. You women have to teach your daughters to not be ashamed to fuck for pleasure and then throw that motherfucker that she fucked the fuck out of her goddamn life. Ride the dick and then ride him the fuck out your life. You don't need that motherfucker. You don't need that motherfucking baby. You don't need that shit. Live your life. Don't go trying to have kids before you're 25 years old. At least live till you're 25 before you decide you want to have a child with a piece of fucking shit. That's where a lot of women don't have the guidance by other women. Because other women will tell them, nah, baby, don't do that. Don't do that. I ain't gonna do it, girl. 6 months later. 6 months later. I thought you said you weren't gonna do it. And then there's my favorite. And a lot of women do this shit too. I was young and I was dumb. No, no, that is not an excuse. That is not an excuse. You made that fucking choice. Own it. You made that motherfucking choice. I was young and I was dumb. Guess what? I was young. Never got the chance to be dumb. I have siblings that fucked up. I have friends and family members on both sides of my family that fucked up. And I've had to pay for that young and dumb bullshit excuse. Be an adult. You were an adult enough to make the motherfucker. Be an adult enough to take the motherfucker. I've suffered for other people's fuck ups. And then I've dated girls who fucked up, having babies with piece of fucking shit men, and then get mad. No, I'm not dating you because you have children. If you want to have sex, we can do that. But we're having sex my way. We're using goddamn condoms and birth control. I'm not getting no condom from you because you straight pregnant and you may want another child. You won't get that motherfucker from me because we can have oral sex, which means I'm going to eat and then I'm going to go home. She's not putting my dick in her mouth because that might give her the option of hiding my sperm. I'm up to speed on tricks too, just for the fucking record. No. Some people trick people into getting pregnant, and most of the time, it's generally women over men. There are some men who also trick women into getting pregnant, and then they treat those women like fucking dog shit, which goes back to make better choices. Teach our sons and daughters to be better. Uh-oh. Something to happen here. I think I'm still recording. Yeah. This is hair off that hairbrush that I thought I dropped, but it stuck on my hand. Anyway, moving on. We gotta teach our children better. We have to. And we especially gotta teach our girls to understand the difference between sex for procreation and sex for pleasure. We have to teach our sons the same. We also, which I should have said before we taught them anything, we need to teach them how to handle rejection and have the fucking conversation about sex before they have sex. Look, are we going to be boyfriend and girlfriend? Are we going to be a situationship? Are we going to be fuck buddies? What are we doing? Because before you have sex, you need to know where the fuck you stand if you are a girl or if you are a boy with the person you're having sex with. Now, in the event that it's two girls having sex with two girls, it's not possible for them to get each other pregnant. If it's two boys having sex with two boys, they're not going to get pregnant. So I can't talk on that because I am not in the alphabet community. Knock yourselves out on that question. But what I can say, and what I will say, is that we need to raise our sons and our daughters better when it comes to procreation, when it comes to sex for pleasure. And we need to teach both boys and girls equally. Boys also need to learn from the girls' perspective of sexual education, and girls need to learn from the boys' perspective of sexual education. Not, hey, well, we separated them. Okay, that's cool. Teach the girls about the periods, the cramps, and all the other shit. And then you take that same teacher to teach the boys. There's going to be a lot of fucking giggling on that side, but you still got to teach them. There's also going to be a lot of people probably puking up when they find out periods and how babies are made and all that shit. Guys have weak stomachs. They're probably going to throw right the fuck up. That's going to be fucking awesome. Do not show them period pads. Well, you can show them, but don't show them like with the blood in it. And don't show them the tampons that are bloody. But you can show them and teach them how to go shop for tampons for the girlfriends and all this other bullshit. Y'all probably ain't going to like the fact that I said that, but that's the truth. The girls are probably not going to giggle because girls are generally more brainier than boys when they start learning about how dicks are going to be inserted inside them and what happens with a couple of pumps. Okay? Girls are going to take that shit serious. Guys are going to giggle and puke. Alright? They are. I'm sorry. Guys are going to giggle and puke. You might get like the nerdy dudes be like, okay, so that's how that works. So if I lick this, she's going to moan and, okay, cool. Now, the macho motherfuckers be like, they'll probably be the ones that do all the puking when they figure out how blood drains and all that shit. And they'll be the first one to say, well, I ain't never going to eat no pussy. You know, they'll probably be that. And they'll be that same guy that'll probably puke. They'll also be the guy that gets chosen out of all the other guys in the room. That'll be the guy that gets chosen, fucks up, and gets the girl pregnant. Why do I say that? Because more girls in high school in my era, back in the 90s, 92, 93, got pregnant by motherfuckers that played football. Alright? The jocks. And the female jocks were also the ones being knocked the fuck up. Those people had babies now. And in some cases, there were people who had babies and were unalived by their piece of shit boyfriends. So you have to teach the children right. Alright, I took almost an hour of your time to make this video. So this is the part where I close out. And I will close out with an apology to all the ladies watching and to some of the men that I may have offended. I apologize for how I said it. I do not apologize for what the fuck I said. And if you're that bad off, go back and rewatch this bitch, because I know I hit on some salient points that both men and women need to recognize, but women more than men. And again, I apologize for how I say it. I'm not going to apologize for what the fuck I said. Y'all choose these bastards. Y'all do. Y'all choose them, you get pregnant by them, and then you expect someone else to pick up the fucking tab after you've been used, abused, and you chose that motherfucker that used and abused you. The guy you should have chose, that's the guy you did this to. That's the guy you called the creep. That's the guy you did this to more times than you can count. You've looked dead at that guy who probably could have been the greatest husband of your life, and you go, I'm going with this motherfucker. That motherfucker got a good lick and a big dick, and he treats you great. And then you pop up pregnant, and that motherfucker's out that fucking door. Happens more than you think. It can happen in the blink of an eye. And then the nerdy guy be like, well, you know, I'm not Carlton. If we didn't sleep together, I'm not stupid enough to think that that's my baby, knowing that we never fucking even touched. And you would think as smart as Carlton was, that he wasn't that damn dumb. But if you've seen that episode of The Fresh Prince, the OG Fresh Prince with Alfonso Ribeiro, you know Carlton must have been dumb as fuck when it came to sex education. And this is why sex education is very fucking important. It's very fucking important to teach your boys and girls that you can't get her pregnant by touching her with your fingers. You can only get her pregnant by touching her with your dick. And pre-cum can get girls pregnant. Don't think that it can't. It can. So now that you've gotten all this information, and that I've probably pissed off 90% of my fucking followers, I will say this one more fucking time. I apologize for how I said it. I do not apologize for what the fuck I said. That being said, I am Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I hope I taught you something. Be seeing you. If I could find a cursor to stop the damn video.